Hey, I'm Dr. Charles Cole III, and let's jump right in. Let's just say it right now. All right, get out the way. Pandemic learning is wild for everybody. If you're black and in a certain tax bracket, chances are you were getting crap education long before the first COVID cough was even out there in the atmosphere. All right. And it's brought us to this spot where slow progress was better than no progress. In fact, if I know your race, your tax bracket, and your zip code, I can probably guess the type of education you were receiving with really good odds. I mean really good odds. Like odds better than the best card counters that Vegas has ever seen, all right? Like that's how systemic this stuff is. That's how bad education has been for black folks throughout this country. This pandemic is delivering jabs and body blows and uppercuts. It's taking a toll. It's cutting folks up right now. And here's the thing: everybody's saying that they're advocating for black folk, but there's just an issue with that. Is that black folk isn't one folk. There's a lot of different type of people within black folk. All right, we got to understand this, and to understand that, you have to see people's humanity. Okay, that means you actually have to go out and talk to black folk. Because let me tell you what I've learned and what I know because I talk to black folk. Okay, there are black folk that feel like school should have been back open yesterday. Okay, that kid already wasn't getting what they deserve, and now they're getting even less of what they deserve. These parents can't necessarily stay home. They are essential workers. They got to go out into the world, and they need schools open, and they want schools open. Then there's another type of black folk who lives right in that same neighborhood, makes around the same amount of money, and says, listen, I'm not sending my baby back outside until it is safe. My mama lives here. Big mama's living in the house. We can't bring no germs back here that could kill her. Listen, I was somebody who was raised by his grandmother until she passed away when I was around 9. She's still my favorite person in the world. And if she was alive today and she lived in my house, there's no way I'm stepping foot outside. Okay. It's just not happening. We making a garden inside the house because I'm not even letting Uber Eats up on the steps. So I understand those folk as well. All right. Neither of them are wrong. Okay. But you have to talk to people to understand that humanity. Here's the thing: both of those type of people are right, and there's a bunch of people in the middle on this spectrum. And you want to know the ironic part? It's ironic that the people most left behind by politics happen to be the highest grade of gas in this Cadillac ass country, meaning that you need a lot of it. They need a lot of black people to vote and do these things so they can win. That's the only time we get catered to. It's just funny that in this highly politicized moment, everybody is claiming that they serve black folk. Here's another revelation for you: black is not synonymous with poor, and poor is not synonymous with black. Okay, that's some rich ass black people too. That's some middle class black folk, all of that. But know this: if you happen to be black and you happen to be poor, that intersection leads to you being that intersection leads to the nigga treatment. The nigga treatment. And I mean with a all capitalized, like Niggera, depending on how cool you are. If you happen to be black and poor, that nigga treatment is on platinum at that moment. So I'm gonna say this to the folks repping for black folk and happen to be in a job that you can work from home and you haven't lost pay. You get to indulge in self-care, and that's not me coming for you. That's just me saying we get to be privileged in this time. If you fall into that camp like I do, then we have a responsibility to black folk if that's what we say that we care about. We have to innovate. We have to build things that help our people, because there are a lot of us that do not get to stay at home. There are a lot of essential workers that got to go out there and put themselves in harm's way regardless. So at the very least, we should figure out a way to make sure every single category of black folk get educated. So what that means is, if it's the black folk that need schools open right now because they don't want their kids falling further behind and they got to go to work, we need a plan for that. And guess what? I'm not putting the pressure on teachers or anybody. If you're not feeling that and you are a school system, there's this thing called per pupil dollars. Give those families their per pupil dollars so they can at least go out and fight instead of having to wait on this system. And on the other side, we need a plan for Black folk that say, listen, my kid is not going back outside until it's safe. We got elderly people that live here, and I don't know what's going to happen. We need a plan for them. We live in the most informational, accessible time in the history of the planet, okay? And if I'm being honest, I've probably learned more from YouTube than about 80% of my teachers throughout my educational career. If we're gonna keep it all the way of being in these streets. You feel me? So these people deserve for us to have a plan. Listen, man, times of tragedy is heaven to innovation. And what I mean by that is innovators tend to see a problem and they think of inventive ways to solve them. We have a world of problems that can do some solving right now. Also, throw in hybrid learning for good measure, okay? Because there's a whole bunch of people in the middle. This is the time for us to innovate. We owe it to our people, especially if you're saying you represent who? Black folk. We have to start seeing the humanity in people because, again, Black folk is not one person. And the only way to see that humanity is that you have to talk to people. You have to really talk and respect people and where they are coming from. So let me just be very clear. If you are somebody, if you are a Black person and you are advocating that schools needed to be open yesterday for whatever your reasons are, you are right. You are absolutely right because that's your kid or that's you. And I respect that because I respect your humanity. If you are Black folk and you say, I'm not going back into this COVID stuff is under control and it's safer, you are right. And you deserve to be listened to and respected because that's your baby or that's you. You understand? And if you are somebody in the middle that don't know exactly what's right at the moment, you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to take in all the information. Be kind to yourself. It's okay to not be completely sure. You are right as well. You go because you have to make and live with the decisions around you and your family. Nobody else can do that for you. Here's the thing. If we all come together and get each other's back, even if we disagree, we can make these systems bend to our will. Now, let me say this on the other side. If anybody is asking you, Black person, especially if you got some melanin in your skin, to be loyal to a system, systems in this country that have done horrible things to Black folks for centuries, you need to get them all the way right. Somebody might need to get cussed out that day. I, just like you, should not be loyal to any system. Should be loyal to people, okay? We should be loyal to a people, not a system that has not cared about us collectively since they started. Anyway, let me stop yelling at y'all. I'm Dr. Charles Cole III. I'll see y'all soon. In the meantime, see each other's humanity and take care of each other. Let's get through this pandemic together. Peace. TED Talk, my ass. I ain't nobody even named Ted in none of the communities I ever lived in my life. It's Tyrone Talks or Tanisha Talks. Damn, TED Talks. Take that. Damn it. Yeah, if they call, I'll still do a TED Talk, but they're going to get North Oakland, Maywood, and Paducah. How about that?